This is a General Electric B-23 locomotive. It began its life on Conrail in the year 1980, but now it sits here in Quincy, Massachusetts, working on one of Boston's smallest and most elusive railroads. Welcome to Boston Railroading Explained, the Fore River Railroad. The Fore River Railroad was conceived in 1903 by Thomas A. Watson, assistant to the inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell. Given his vast amount of profits, Watson utilized them to build the Fore River Shipyard and Engine Company, and it was a success. However, 3 United States Navy vessels later, Watson was faced with a problem. The nearest railroad was located 2 miles away. So, as a result, in late 1902, the rail line was constructed, and supplies could finally be delivered directly to the shipyard. Just before World War I, the Bethlehem Steel Company bought the shipyard and railroad. 36 destroyers and submarines were produced for the Navy in that time. The railroad became its own entity in 1919, no longer being controlled by the Bethlehem Steel Shipyard. In its time during the World Wars, the Fore River Railroad played a massive part in the construction of naval ships and submarines. But now, owned by the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, the railroad carries much less rigorous and vital products. These days, the MWRA uses the railroad to ship fertilizer pellets, which are made from the sludge created at the Deer Island Waste Treatment Facility in East Boston. The Fore River Railroad also transports fatty acid products from the Twin River Technologies, located in the shipyard. So that's all for history. Let's get to rail fanning. It is now July 15th, and I am driving over to the Braintree Rail Yard, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Fore River's operations. The railroad only runs one job on weekdays, typically starting in the mid-morning. The job runs from Quincy Shipyard down the 2.7-mile branch line to the MBTA's Greenbush branch, where the locomotive and its cars then shove backwards to Braintree Yard. On weekdays, CSX L008 goes to Braintree and provides the Fore River with much of their cars. There are very few places to view the Fore River's Braintree Yard operations, but I decided to shoot my shot with the back fence of a Best Buy parking lot. And look, I found them. They are currently waiting for the okay into the yard. Having already dropped off their cars, they are getting ready to build their train back to Quincy.
I don't think it's worth a photo.
102 then picked up a long string of tank cars, which will be hauled just past the switch, right before FR 102 will begin shoving them back onto a new track. It really is quite cool seeing this 42-year-old locomotive parallel the Red Line's 52-year-old Pullman standard cars. I wonder which will last longer. Leave a guess down below. You can hear the conductor inform the engineer when to stop, and 1 meaning 1 car length more until stopping.
And 1 now, 1.
This is like drinks.
There was virtually 0 time between when this train stopped and reversed. I guess it really is a different operation with a smaller railroad. FR 102 then got the okay to take it back 10 cars. This meaning that the locomotive, 102, had permission to shove 10 more car lengths past the switch. FR-102, formerly Conrail B23-7, number 1980, was built in 1980. 1980 was well known among rail fans back in the day because it wore the commemorative Keep Moving with Conrail scheme. This locomotive is certainly filled with history. The operation continued like this for about 15 more minutes before 102 set its finished train onto the yard track.
And
102 then uncoupled from its string of tankers and proceeded east past the switch. Now, 102 must run around its train in order to be on the western end. From here, FR-102 will shove their train up onto the branch line switch, where they will then proceed east towards the shipyard. Knowing this, we drove over to the Elm Street crossing, 2 crossings away from where the line intertwines with the Greenbush line. In between Elm Street and nearby Adams Street is a siding where the Fore River often sets off extra or broken tank cars to be picked up on a later date. Today's move would not work the siding. Instead, FR-102 ran directly to the shipyard.
That was the end.
Here at Quincy Shipyard, the Fore River has 2 customers. Twin River Technologies, located under the Fore River Bridge, is their main customer. Adjacent to the offices in the engine house is the beginning of a yard used to organize and serve the New England Fertilizer Corporation. Here, we see FR-102 shove its cars into the organizing yard.
Thank you.
Passing by its sister, FR-101, 102 is one of 2 in-service locomotives on the Fore River. GP38 7750, also owned by the Fore River, has suffered from mechanical issues and has been sidelined ever since. Next, 102 will pull its cars up to a new switch. This crew is trying to get this organization done before their lunch break. After that, they will work the Twin River technologies before heading home.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Boom! On a freight railroad, it does not matter how gently you couple up your cars, while on a passenger railroad, crews are much more cautious of this because of the passengers that may be aboard. It would be back and forth for the next 30 minutes until lunch. Content with our findings, we left the shipyard having seen everything we came out to see. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two about this elusive and interesting railroad operation hiding in Boston's suburbs. It truly is one unique railroad, and it's definitely worth a visit. Anyways, I will see you all again soon, out there on the rails.